be prepared to put in the hours. Literally, that must have taken about 2 hours worth of masking. Hello. Right. Black dog bike build. I'm not even gonna say, you're right. Calm down. Oh. I'm not even gonna say what episode I'm up to anymore, because I've got there was meant to be an episode where I'm doing the bike seat. I'm waiting for that to come back. I've got the rear wheel off being powder coated black, and now I'm deciding I'm going to definitely paint this engine black. I don't know what's with this dog. For the last, I don't know, half hour, I've been sitting down here thinking what a bad idea this is, because I don't want to mask it up. I am really not looking forward to masking this whole thing up. So, look, it's just one of them things that's got to be done. I really, really don't want to do it, but this colour, it just looks shit. So it'll look heaps better black. I'm going to leave these chrome. I'll leave the rocker covers and little bits like this with the chrome on it. I'll probably, this dog, man, stop. I'll probably pull off the exhaust so I can get to things a bit better. And and after I right, stop. So she's like, who the fuck are you talking to? I don't even know where we got to there. Wrestling with a dog, phone calls. Okay, long and the short of it is, really don't want to do it, but gonna paint it black. Rocker cover is going to be left chrome. Anything that's chrome or aluminium, whatever, we're going to leave it that colour, except for this, I don't know what you'd even call it, this real dull silver cast. So it looks shit, so that's all going to go black. I hate saying this, but I'm going to try and cheat, and every time I say that, it fucking backfires on me. So I'm going to try and do this with leaving the tank on there. I'm just going to mask it up real good. I mean, I'm going to mask these up anyway, so I can I'm thinking it will go, along here, and all that'll be covered up. It'll save me a bit of hassle pulling that off. I'll pull the air cleaner off, mask up all like the carby, all that sort of thing, and that's pretty much it, and obviously we'll mask up everything else. Take the exhaust off, and look, it's just the masking I don't really want to do. So once I start, we'll just get it done, and you don't want to see that, so I'm just going to fast forward through most of it, and then we'll get to spraying it. Done. All right, let's start by pulling this exhaust off. If you you don't need to take this whole plate off. You can just undo the top front one, and obviously these two bolt into the chassis, into the frame, but you only got to take the front one off and it'll pivot enough to be able to remove the exhaust off it. Now the exhaust is off, you can see how much more it opens it up. So now I've got the exhaust off, I'm actually going to put this on the jack. You don't need to do that to paint it, but I'm going to get it so I can lift it up a bit more and just get to them hard to reach places. Sometimes these jacks are pretty handy to have. So I don't want the same issue as I had with putting in the lowering kit, because obviously the jack just got in the way, but I think this time of year it's actually going to help out a fair bit, being able to get up under things and all the rest of it. All right, I'm going to remove the air filter now. So we got the exhaust off, we got our chrome air cleaner off. It's opened up this side a fair bit. I'm going to give it a quick degrease, give it a little bit of a scrub in the dirty spots, get rid of any grease I can see, any bits of dirt, and then we're going to start masking. I've degreased it, I'll give it a bit of a rub down. Bit concerned about the prep. It doesn't seem like the oil, some of the oil, this stuff is like porous, and some of the oil is just like stained into it. No matter how much I scrub it and degrease it and scrub it and degrease it, it's just staying there. So look, I can't really blame, I want to say it's really going to show how good the paint is if it sticks, but you know, you can't blame the paint. So I've got it as best as I can, and look, we're just going to start masking it up. And look, worst case scenario, this sounds shocking, but if some paint starts to flake off or something in the future, then I'll just give it a touch up. I don't think it's going to get to that. I don't think it's that bad, but you never know. It's just, that's my biggest concern. So anyway, let's give it a go. All right, so we've got it all masked up. That is a pain in the ass job. So anyone thinking about doing it, be prepared to put in the hours. Literally, that must have taken about 2 hours worth of masking. I think when you sort of put that time into things and when you start to mask, you realise it'd just be easier pulling the tank off. It'd make it a hell of a lot easier. Look, it's just impossible with the motor in there to get to everything. I'm not saying it's impossible to do a good job, but it's impossible to get to everything. So I'm kind of expecting there to be a little bit of overspray on things. If it gets to that, well, you know, we'll just get rid of it. I'll see what we've got to use on this stuff. I think it might be terps or thinners to wipe off whatever you get it on. If you're quick enough, you can probably just scratch it off with your fingernail. But yeah, now what I'm using is the Dulux Duplicolor, sorry, not Dulux, Duplicolor wrinkle finish, black texture coating. I thought it said coating. Black texture coating. Temperatures up to 177 degrees C, so it should be about right. Yeah, so we can do a few things to speed this up. I've had a look at a couple of videos, people using this stuff, so it comes up like the wrinkle finish, like the original Harley paint they do. You can heat it up with a heat gun and it'll actually bring up the finish a bit more, plus it helps with drying. So look, all you can do is give it a go. This is a little bit of the reason why I didn't want to do this, is because I can't, it is such an effort, like, to commit to do it properly. Like, I would have really loved to have just pulled the engine out and do it like that. This is a really hard thing to get right, and I've seen people do this and fuck it up, and they get it over wiring and other cables and they just go over the whole thing and it looks fucking terrible. So, I mean, I'm kind of half expecting it, and I know there's going to be a little bit of a clean up with it. I know what I'm like, I'm going to fucking hate it if it looks shit. So that's the thing with this, it's a big commitment. Once you start, that's it. It's fucking stuck like it. You're not going to be able to get the paint off. So you got to really do a good job with masking. And the problem with that is, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional in any way, but I've had a little bit of experience masking things up, and this is fucking hard to mask. So, you know, the tape doesn't stick to a lot of stuff because it's had so much oil and road grime over it over the years, no matter how much you wash it. Anyway, look, I guess all we can do is try our best, and hopefully it sticks. All right, let's give it a go. Here we go. Fucking either looks gonna look shit or not. Now, gotta apply at least 3 heavy coats, cross hatch pattern. First coat vertically, second coat horizontally, third coat diagonally, allowing 5 minutes between each coat. A relatively heavy film thickness is required for the product to wrinkle. This paint dries very slowly. A wrinkle finish does not appear immediately after spraying. Allow 2 hours to air dry. Now, I've seen that, and the way to speed that up, to make it wrinkle even better, is to heat up the paint. And I've borrowed my wife's hairdryer that she doesn't know, so hopefully she won't watch this. All right. Here we go. feels weird spraying vertically. It's not natural. This will feel a lot better. Now I'm going to try and get in all the spots. And you see, it's actually darker than what I thought it was going to go. So it does go on pretty thick. Alright, I've come back down here about 2 hours later. I've got the room set to about 30 degrees and she's starting to go all wrinkled. It looks good. It's still a bit glossy in some sections, but I'm just a bit worried. I don't want to start to pull things off. I don't want to start to pull the tape off and damage anything else, so I'm not really sure yet what I should do. It feels like it's set enough to start pulling the tape off things. Alright, give it a go. Okay, it's still, the paint's still setting, so I'm gonna, it's tacky. I'm gonna start to pull some of the masking off now, because I'm a bit worried it's gonna dry and it's gonna end up pulling off more than what it's meant to. So I'll start to have a look at it and then see if I'm going to continue on. It's still pretty, it's been setting for a few hours, but it's still wet. so far things have been pretty good with bleeds. I haven't really, it hasn't really bled anywhere. A little bit on the chrome rocker covers, but I could just go through and sort of scratch it off, and that was it. So this is the last little bit of masking tape we've got to take off. So now we'll find out that it's bled all through this, the main bit that we didn't want to. It didn't bleed through anywhere, I don't think. So that's good. A quick note to make as well, when I masked this up, I didn't show you, but I actually masked up the belt. So, you know, you don't want to get paint on it, it'll end up making it go brittle. Also too, you'll probably notice I even went over like these little pipes like this, and my throttle cable, I masked all that up. Especially like pipes that have got a bit of like rubber on them, paint will make it go brittle, plus it looks like shit. It looks like, you know, you've just got a tin of spray paint and just sprayed over everything. So, you know, look, it's not, there's going to be a couple of little bits and pieces like I found, like there's going to be a couple of little bits and pieces that no doubt I've got a little bit of a leakage through, but it's not going to be anything I can't clean up. These were this here was my biggest concern, and as you can see, just got a little bit up in here, give that a little bit of a scrape, but I'm going to polish them up, but I can't do it until the paint's dry, obviously, and that'll just be down the track. But as soon as it's all dry, you know, you can start touching it. This paint is still really wet. I had to be careful, even when pulling off the tape, brushing it up against a bit of paint. I noticed in one of the spots that actually disturbed it a bit. It was out of view, but you know, still it was a big wake-up call. All right, so I guess we're going to start putting this thing back together. Overall though, pretty happy with it so far. The paint's come out exactly how I wanted it to. Holy shit, we are done. Right, that's it. What do you reckon? I'll give all the aluminium a bit of a polish up later, before we get it right back on the road, and it should take off anything. I got a few fingerprints from where I was unmasking things and got black paint on me, and then I've touched some bits of, you know, the chrome, but other than that, she's pretty good. It is 100% better. All right. I'm actually going to start it up now, get some heat into it, bake it on a bit more. Let's give it a shot. Just realign it, get the arse end facing out the shed. Don't want to guess ourselves. All right, that's it. Engine is now blacked out. That was the thing that I was least looking forward to, and I was right, it was not fun at all. It's a shit job. You pretty much might as well say that's a day gone doing that. It's a lot of fucking around, it's a lot of masking up, and you know, when you can't get everything as clean as you want and that, it's a really bit of a worry, and I'm absolutely paranoid that it's going to start flaking off in certain spots. But you know, it's not the paint's fault, it's my fault if it doesn't work out. But anyway, it looks 100% better. It wrinkled up really well. I didn't even apply heat. I tried the hairdryer on it, but it wasn't doing nothing. I think you need a proper heat gun to do it, but I left it to set for a few hours, 2 hours I think. I knocked the heat pump up on 30 degrees and I come back and it seemed to have done its job. Pulled the masking off while everything was still wet, and that seemed to have worked out well. Remember, you know, look, I've blocked up the holes for the exhaust. I put tape around anything that had threads. I covered up all my pipelines, especially rubber ones, and yeah, anything, you know, you don't want it fouling up and you don't want it looking shit. So it all comes down to the prep. Anyway, that's it. That's the motor blacked out. I'm glad that's over. Done.